Our top story, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has expressed grave concerns over Israel's decision to approve thousands of new housing units in West Bank. Guterres even called the government's West Bank plan a flagrant violation of international law. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called the settlements plan a major obstacle to the realization of a viable two-state solution and a lasting peace. He also urged Israel to halt and reverse the settlement decisions. The spokesperson for the UN Secretary General further added that all sides must refrain from further escalating the situation.
The Secretary General shares the views of his special coordinator, Tor Vennesland, who said just over the past hour that he was deeply concerned by today's events in Jenin, following an Israeli security forces operation and the ensuing exchange of fire, which resulted in 5 Palestinians killed, including a child, and some 60 Palestinians and 7 Israeli forces wounded, at the very least. I believe those numbers are going up as we speak. Such escalations threaten to plunge the region deeper into a deadly crisis. Mr. Vennesland said that all sides must refrain from actions that would further escalate the situation and take steps to re-engage on a political path.
According to reports, Israel has included its plans to approve over 4,500 housing units in various areas of the West Bank. Although only over 1,300 are up for final approval, the remainder units are yet to undergo the preliminary clearance process. It also amended a law to clear the way for settlers to return to 4 settlements that had previously been evacuated. Earlier, the United States has said that it is deeply troubled by the move. The State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller said, and I quote, "As has been long-standing policy, the United States opposes such unilateral actions that make a two-state solution more difficult to achieve and are an obstacle to peace," unquote. Despite U.S. pressure to halt settlement expansion, Israel's nationalist religious government tabled plans to approve thousands of building permits in West Bank, which is the major bone of contention between Israel and Palestine and has frequently witnessed deadly armed conflicts. Earlier, fresh violence erupted between armed gunmen and Israeli troops in the northern West Bank city of Jenin. The hostilities escalated as Israeli forces raided the Jenin refugee camp, killing at least 5 Palestinians, including a teenager, and leaving as many as 66 wounded. Prime Minister Netanyahu has vowed to strike terrorism with might and determination. The Palestinian Islamist group Hamas, which has ruled Gaza since 2007, said that it will resist the move by all means. Now, for more on this, we are now being joined by our correspondent Jody Cohen from Ra'anana in Israel. Jody, what can you tell us about the latest reactions that have come into Israel's announcement on settlements?
So the UN chief, Antonio Guterres, as we know, urged Israel to halt and reverse the settlement expansion, calling settlements a violation of international law. Now, the State Department in the United States, remember that's Israel's biggest ally, they've said that they're deeply troubled by the settlement announcement. And remember that the Palestinians want the West Bank to be part of a future Palestinian state. They boycotted the economic summit on Monday that was designed to bring economic opportunities for the Palestinians in protest at the announcement. And a PA official has urged Arab countries to suspend normalization agreements with Israel. But Israel say that they have historic and legal claims to the land, that they've offered the Palestinians the state multiple times, all of which have been rejected, and that any final borders would be agreed in any final negotiations directly between the Palestinians and Israelis.
And Jody, Guterres has also suggested that settlements are leading to violence. What's been the response to that claim?
Yes, so Guterres said that settlements are a significant driver of tensions and violence. Remember, in Jenin on Monday, we saw the fiercest fighting in years. 5 Palestinians were killed, including 3 Islamic Jihad gunmen, and 90 were injured. Now, the Israeli soldiers were reportedly there to arrest terror suspects, and Islamic Jihad's Al-Quds brigade said that they responded with fire. 8 Israeli soldiers were injured, and this is the first time since the early 2000s that the IDF has said that they had to respond from the air to airlift out their wounded soldiers. Now, the Palestinian Authority has blamed this violence on Israel for being there. Israel have said that they need to tackle terror because the Palestinian Authority has lost control in the northern West Bank, and Israel doesn't want groups like Hamas and Islamic Jihad taking over there like Hamas did in Gaza. But meanwhile, 1 Palestinian has reportedly been killed in clashes in Bethlehem. 2 Israelis were wounded in a car ramming attack. So it looks like the violence continuing.
All right, Jody, we leave it there for the moment. Thanks very much for joining us with those details from Ra'anana in Israel.
Thank you.